You get your monthly mutual fund or 401k statements, look at the bottom line and say, is that it? If after all these years your investments are still making diddly squat, do it yourself. Learn to trade stocks and Forex at Online Trading Academy in South Florida. Learn in real classrooms where students of all ages are taught how money is made in up, sideways, and down markets using a patented rules-based strategy taught only at Online Trading Academy. All instructors are certified, currently trade, and profitable. They show you what they do every day. Most students trade with a couple of $1,000s. Since 1997, Online Trading Academy has taught over 100,000 students. You can do this. Tired of low returns? Call now and reserve 2 seats to a free class to see how the banks and institutions trade. Seating is limited. Call 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. That's 954-668-2510.
You say you need to lose weight for the holidays or just to stay healthy. Nothing seems to be working except frustration. The wait is over. Order your organic detox tea and resolution drops from the Wait Is Over company and start feeling better by shedding pounds. Not all detox systems are the same. Listen to those who have used the tea with fantastic results. Visit her website, totallifechanges.com/4219711 to get all the information you need to feeling better. Drink 2 cups a day, and you too can lose 5 pounds in 5 days. Call today, 954-696-8330, and listen to testimonials about proper weight loss using the T. Ask about the opportunity to earn $50,000 by Christmas with a Total Life Changes business opportunity. Call today, 954-696-8330, and change your life today. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Wheels from the Heart with your host, Sabrina. Wheels from the Heart is an official 501c3 that provides cars to hardworking single moms and their children. A car will help a mother and her children drive towards a better life. To donate a car, contact Wheels from the Heart at 844-GIVE-WHEELS. That's 844-GIVE-WHEELS. Now, let's get ready for the messenger of love as she educates, informs, and entertains the needs in our community. Here's Sabrina.
That this happened to you.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Sabrina Barnett, and you're listening to a program that is called Wheels from the Heart because we are coming from the heart. We're here with Stephen Muschlitz, the founder of Wheels from the Heart, www.wheelsfromtheheart.org, and also with Glenn Valentin. How are you?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me today.
You're very welcome. Glenn, you have a company by the name of Compass Flooring.
Yes.
And we want to say thank you so much. So a little shout out to Compass Flooring. Everybody out there, if you ever need any flooring, there he is, Compass Flooring. What's your website?
You can just go to compassflooring.com.
Oh, that's very complicated.
How genius. Wow, real creative guy here.
All right, so anybody out there that's in traffic, I hope you're going to enjoy our show because we're talking about feeling good. And how can you really feel good? It's by doing good things for other people. They always say that you never get poor by giving. Stephen, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. You've got a charity called wheelsfromtheheart.org, Wheels from the Heart.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Wheels from the Heart and what you're doing.
Wheels from the Heart came to me as a vision through the Holy Spirit and who I follow, which is Jesus Christ. And it came on my heart as I was placed in the car business back in 2004. Really had no idea why I got into that business. I'm a people pleaser, and here's God saying, "Hey, go in the car business, see how that works out for you." So, as we all know, car dealers, we don't have the greatest of names sometimes. So I felt that I could be a light in a dark place in some sense. It seems that most people that I talk to, the car buying experience isn't what it needs to be. It should be an enjoyable experience. Buying a car is, exciting. It's fun.
Sure.
Whether it's just a car for fun or necessity or your child's first car. And it should be an enjoyable, pain-free experience.
Well, what I love about what you're doing with Wheels from the Heart, we'll get to Country Club Autos because that's a brilliant business. And that's a business that if you're listening out there, stick to this because this is something where you can save a lot of money. And I know everybody right now, times can be tough for a lot of people and you're going to want to save money. So please continue to listen. Don't change your station or your channel if you're watching us on television. Country Club Autos is a business that you started, like you said, in 2004, and it's really something that makes a difference in people's pockets. And one of the reasons why Glenn has been so gracious to come here is because I think Glenn has experienced a great experience at a car dealership, which really doesn't happen that often, right? Glenn, I mean, tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Well, I remember purchasing my first car when I was 19 years old and countless cars after that. And as much as I'd like to think that I know a lot about the automobile purchase, to have an advocate in the industry, someone that you can know and trust like Steve, has been an absolute gold mine. It's just been an incredible, as someone coined it, the guardian angel
Yes.
of auto sales. And just to be able to have that trust, to rely on someone that's going to give you the best deal, the best value. Only just this past year, we've actually, my daughter moved to New York City. We needed to sell the car very quickly, and Steve was able to find a buyer within 4 days, getting much, much more than I ever thought that we were ever going to get for that vehicle.
You know, and that's, if I can interject right there, that is one of the things that is so important inside this broadcast, is because everybody wants to save money. Everybody wants to make money. That's something in business that you're all in business to do, right? And so you work hard with your flooring business. And one of the things you want to do is not waste it on buying a car. And I think that that's the key for a lot of our listeners out there. If you're listening, Glenn's story has happened again and again and again. And Glenn is so gracious and so amazing to want to spend the time. His experience has been so great with Country Club Autos that you're here and you're talking about it.
Well, I was promised there was going to be treats and snacks here, so I don't.
Hey,
Well,
well,
we'll see how you. We'll see
There's
how
a
you
bottle
behave.
of water. There's a bottle of water on the floor.
There's like 4 buckets behind bucket number 1.
The great thing, Sabrina, was 3 months later, my daughter decided to come back, all part of her journey, and we needed to purchase another vehicle in a very short period of time. And Steve came through with flying colors again. And my daughter is now in her career up in Orlando, thriving and in the position where we can upgrade. So now this is the third vehicle that Steve's been involved with.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
Again, to have someone, it's an old adage with auto, I think everyone gets nervous and scared. But to have Steve knowing that he's going to research the best deal for you, save you money, having a man of integrity on your side,
Is a
making a big
rarity.
purchase like that in this industry, in any industry, is a rarity. So.
Yes, that's very true. And so, well, we like to say max deals for your wheels, and I think that that's a coined slogan, because it's the God honest truth. If you're going to, I had a lady today. She said, because now I've definitely gotten on board with this whole thing. I mean, I love the fact that the car buying experience is not a very good one. And like Steve said, it should really be a great experience, because it's exciting. Your daughter's getting a new car and she's going away and she's excited. But sometimes, a lot of times, because of greed, people don't make it a fun experience for you. It almost feels like, and people have said, it's like you against the car dealership, as opposed to it really being, hey, how can I make this experience great? How can I make money? Because I'm here to make money. And how can you save money? So if you have a car dealership where the overhead is not great and it's a lower overhead, then obviously the price of the cars reflect that. And that's what I think Country Club Autos has is he can find cars all over the country. I had a lady today that said she wanted to have a 2014 350 Mercedes. And I said, well, what color do you want? And she goes, I don't care. I just want a great deal. So they're slightly used. I mean, Steve, why don't you say a little bit about what it is that they're slightly used vehicles, right?
Gently used, we like to say. But I was in a prior business, and in that business, I had the opportunity to meet numerous manufacturers, whether it was BMW, Land Rover, Honda, Toyota. And just getting to know those people and doing the things I did, I struck up relationships with them. So over time, I had these relationships. And then one day I was at a retreat, and a guy was serving me breakfast. He was an older guy, and he said, why don't you get in the car business? And he had a little lot, and next thing you know, I was in the car business. So I have the ability to pull a lot of inventory off of these major manufacturers. We just found a car that was actually a corporate car by Mercedes that was just sitting up in wherever. And when an executive would fly in for a week, he'd drive that car. Somebody would drive the car for a couple of days. So it was, like a 2014 with 8,000 miles on it. We were able to purchase that car for one of our clients.
Right. And that just really, I guess, leads me into your inventory right now is constantly changing because you're selling cars rather quickly because they're great deals, right? So countryclubautos.com is your website where you can see the inventory. Again, a lot of the inventory is not even on the website yet because things are coming and happening so quickly.
Sure.
But the phone number for Country Club Autos is 561-997-5789. I'll repeat that, 561-997-5789, and that's Country Club Autos with an S at the end, .com, Country Club Autos. It's in Delray. It's a small dealership.
Correct.
With a lot of punch.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of love too. We actually have on the back, we have a lot, and we named it the Lot of Love. So it says a lot of love on the back, which I think is kind of cool. You know, a lot of people come in and they can't really, sometimes they don't comprehend how things go so smoothly. You know, they're not passed off to 5 different people that are all trying to sell them, hey, would you like free tires? Would you like a tire upgrade, a wheel
Would you like a warranty that you don't even need because the car has one already, right?
Just crazy stuff, And so they go, wow, that was it? And I'm like, yeah, that was it, We like to pay up for our cars because when a client comes back to a car, I sold them that car a lot of times, I'm going to give them more money. I know the car. I need clean vehicles just like any other dealer. Most dealers won't admit that. They'll try to really lowball you. And basically, they're going to just take your car and dump it at the auction. So we pay up because we're going to retail those cars. So we have the ability to sell those cars.
I think that's key, too, is when somebody goes to Country Club Autos lot, the cars, and Glenn, you can probably, you're now a 3-time car buyer. You can probably hear what I'm saying and agree with me is that the cars are clean. They're low miles usually, great, on the outside, clean Carfaxes, and very, very inexpensive.
Yeah, my daughter we purchased for her an Acura, 2007 Acura. It just drives and looks brand new. Mm-hmm. She'll drive that car for at least 5 years. Yep. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for value. She's not going to be changing cars on a regular basis. Although we did have 3 cars in a matter of 9 months. We're hoping that this slows down a little bit. Yeah. But she is absolutely thrilled, gets compliments on the car. And this is a big thing for the first time ever, is actually taking care of her car on the inside and out. So I'm very thrilled about that.
Great. And that leads me also to students. A lot of students, you can help them, first-time car buyers. Is that right?
Sure, absolutely. We have the ability to get a lot of people financed. We have a range of credit options for people. And we don't tack on interest like a lot of dealers do. When you go in and you get approved, we're not a bank. We're a car dealership. So our job is to get you the best interest rate for your money. And that's why we have so many repeat clients. They're not buried in their car 3 years later. They're not $12,000 upside down. And nowadays you can't get that done. You're pretty much shim-shammed if you're that upside down in your car, unless you can stroke a check for that $12,000.
Right. And again, anybody out there listening, drive time, stuck in traffic, hopefully we're making this drive time a little bit easier for you by saving you some money. If you have a car to trade in, all trade-ins are accepted. And you usually have max deals for your wheels, where we beat a lot of the dealerships, right? Written car estimates.
We'll beat any written CarMax offer or any other one up to $1,000. Sometimes more. For unique cars, I've actually paid more. If it's a car I know that one of my other customers enjoy, I don't mind paying up for that car because it's just going to carry on my name and offer something to my client that I've always stood by.
Sure. So if there's anybody out there that's looking to save some money, and I think we all have that in common, right? countryclubautos.com. The phone number is 561-997-5789. That's 561-997-5789. And it leads me again to the integrity part of being a car dealer, which, like Glenn, you said, it's very rare to find an integrist car dealer. Having said that, what I love about Country Club Autos is that there is a heartfelt, the lot of love. You have a charity as well, which is called Wheels from the Heart, and it really helps single mothers in distress, in need, with their children, obviously. So you're helping children first, and the mothers that are in need, that are on buses, using public transportation in the rain, in the heat, and you're giving them free donated vehicles. So
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about, if we have a vehicle to donate to this amazing cause to help mothers and children in need that are vetted, right? They're drug-free and everything. How can somebody want to donate or sponsor a family?
I think the most important thing to people, to the message I want to get across, is that no matter what you think your car is, it's worth something to someone. between mechanics and tires and paint and different things that we can do to a vehicle, prepare it. I mean, we can make cars look brand new. We got donated a 96 Ford Taurus. You know, it had 90,000 miles on it, which is nothing. Really, in reality, is nothing. But to people, 96. Oh, we cleaned that car up, and it looked so nice and perfect. It looked brand new. And we were actually, we worked with a Spa 11, which is in Delray Beach. And so
Great
on Wednesday,
spa.
at Veterans Day, we gave a car to a single mom who's a vet, 2 tours in Iraq, and has 2 kids and has no car. You know, here she is serving our country 2 times. She was over in Iraq, putting her life on the line. How can we not step up and help her? So we gave her a car. She's so ecstatic. Now she's going to be able to go back to college. I forget what she told me she was going to do. Something in healthcare, hospital administration. So now she's going to run a hospital. I mean, how does that pay it forward? I mean, how many lives will that woman change just because what we say is we're a hand up, not a hand out?
Right.
May I speak to that also? My wife and I have had an opportunity to donate a vehicle to Wheels from the Heart, but I've been able to be blessed by being there when Steve gives about, I think about 3 different vehicles that I've seen so far, and it's emotional. And this one woman was there. She became cancer free. We found out she took 2.5 hours with 2 or 3 buses to get to work. That's one way.
Right.
So Steve and Wheels from the Heart hands the keys, and her life changes immediately. It's so emotional and it's so powerful that it's anyone out there who has a vehicle, whatever you think the value is, please consider donating a car. It's an impactful thing that starts immediately from the time they drive off the lot.
You know, Glenn, and I'm hearing you speak, and it just brings to mind that people really want to do good in this world, and especially with everything that's going on with, you know, all the negative press that we hear, and just all the stuff that brings you down. This is an instant impact where you can sponsor a family, you can help children, you can help women, mothers, single mothers that are struggling, get them off the public transportation system. I think one of the most impactful things for me was I was interviewing them because I'm a humanitarian for over 15 years, and so I got involved with the charity and the organization, and I was interviewing one of the women, and maybe some of the things that they may not say to a man, she said to me, and she's anonymous, so I feel comfortable in saying this, but she was waiting for a bus, and a predator came and raped her, and she was going home to her 2 kids. And mom didn't come home that night to her 2 kids.
Long work day, exhausted, just waiting for the bus.
She's just trying so hard to make it happen for her kids, to make a difference in her children's lives. And so that really tore at my heart. And I just said, I have got to help by spreading the word, by letting people out there know that if you have an old vehicle or a new vehicle, if you're a car dealer out there that needs a tax write-off, for goodness sakes, everybody needs a tax write-off if you're in a for-profit business. Give it to wheelsfromtheheart.org, wheelsfromtheheart.org, wheelsfromtheheart.org. 1-844-GIVE-WHEELS, 1-844-GIVE-WHEELS. Again, it's a Kelley Blue Book full tax credit.
Correct.
Why don't you speak a little bit about that, Steve?
A couple things real quick come to mind is I think that it's really important to understand that we're all helping the same people, and we're all a village. So we have to come together in community, which seems to be not the case anymore. So if we can come together as a community, when a car is presented, like Glenn said, it's an instant change to this family. Not only to the mom, but the kids. Mom becomes stronger, therefore kids get better benefits, as in mom being strong. You know, the kids get to go to athletic practice. The kids get to go to music practice. They get to go to karate lessons. Whatever the extra activities are, doctor's appointments, all the necessities a car brings. So the trickle-down effect is humongous. And we've also realized that our cause is really reflected in everyone's cause, because I've heard, like, okay, there's the Boys and Girls Club. Great organization. Great place for the kids. How many kids don't get to go to Boys and Girls Club because mom doesn't have a car? So we always focus a lot of times on children, which I think is important, and we need to do that. But we also need to understand that mom is very instrumental in that too, because mom is the foundation to make sure the homework gets done, and what did you do at school, and food on the table, and clean clothes. things like that. Mom's going to eventually break. If she's spending 25 hours a week on a bus, that's dead time. To most of us, that's from Monday to Thursday morning at 10 o'clock at work. What do we get done? Well, mom's on the bus that amount of time. So we can free up that time. And that's one thing I ask anybody. If someone's laying on their deathbed, if you ask them, what would you like to have more of? And they're going to say time.
Well,
They're
and
not
you
gonna
just
say
said
money.
something also. If anybody has any elders that are no longer able to drive a car, this is a perfect organization to donate and sponsor family and change young children's lives and struggling mothers that are really trying their hardest to make a difference in their children and their lives. And again, these cars really are rebirthed. Mechanics, we have mechanics that are working with the organization to fix transmissions, to fix. So if you have a car that you feel is worth nothing, it can possibly be worth saving lives and changing lives and impacting lives, like Glenn said.
I had the same. I didn't purchase this vehicle from you. I had the same feeling, like this car's pretty beat up. And Steve's like, no. We can get the right people on it, make it a safe vehicle, and change someone's life. And not until I really witnessed it firsthand did I really, really understand the impact of a changed life immediately. Keys in the hand, they drive away. It's emotional.
Tears.
It
I mean,
really it's
you see grown men crying
it's
at a
impactful.
giveaway when these moms are jumping up and down or crying for 15, 20 minutes, sobbing at an older car.
Right.
Because they know the struggle that their children have been through as well as themselves.
It's kind of ironic because what you think is like you have no use for it anymore, someone else does. And so it's really impactful, like you said, to see that. And then it makes us feel like, wow, how silly are we at times when we go out and spend X amount of dollars on a car and it's got to be perfect, brand new. It's got to have the Wizzo and the Wazzo and the this and the that and the floor mats and the oven mitts and all the other stuff that we need our car to
My
have.
daughter's vehicle had no oven mitts in it. Just
We
wanted to
ordered
go
those. That was a hard. They're special custom oven mitts.
But so back to the donation thing, which I think is really interesting, is so with us, because this car becomes a gift, by the terms of the IRS, a gift can be totally written off, okay? If you donate your car to anyone else, another organization, that car is actually, I call it diluted and polluted. It goes through some hands, and then it comes back. So it's sold, and all of a sudden, you get a $1,000 tax write-off for where you could have got a $5,000 tax write-off. And then in all honesty, if you asked a single mom and you said, okay, I've got $1,000 in this hand, and I've got keys to a car in this hand, they're going to pick this every time. It's much more impactful. It's a life change. And a lot of our women, which is really cool, and you brought this up, is really neat, is when someone gets a car that's nice, they tend to want to take care of it. And you said that with your daughter. Not that she didn't have a nice car, but it was an okay car. Now she's got this nice car with leather and a sunroof, and it looks nice. She wants to make it look nice. That's what we find with these women too. They carry the vacuum and they clean these cars because they're so proud of these cars.
I think also one of the things that I've noticed, Steve, is that a lot of the women tell me that they name their cars. Their cars have names like teddy bears when we were kids. You know how cute, like that really means
Glenn, did you have a name for your teddy bear?
I'm not going to share it on this show. We'll talk after off hours.
Oh, but it means so much because it's an endearing thing. The car is, like you said, $1,000 in one hand or a car. The car is going to make a fisherwoman fish.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just, it's creating
$1,000
sustainability.
gone in 3 weeks. This car is a 3 to 5 year turnaround when they take care of it. And again, it's how many doors does that car open? Our bus system down here, as good as it can be, it's a grid.
Right.
And if you don't fall within the grid, whether you live or work, you aren't working there.
No.
You
And it's
have
hard to
find
find
the
a
grid.
job today. I mean, let's admit it. It's not easy to find a job today. And a lot of, going to the struggle of the single mom, even for daycare, a lot of times these moms, they don't get off at 6 o'clock at night when a daycare may close, or at 7 o'clock if a daycare stays. So a lot of times the children, one of the women I interviewed, her little girl was at the daycare, and the daycare stopped to want to take care of the little girl, which I understand where the daycare is coming from. If the mom's coming at 7:30 and the daycare closes at 7, after time and time again, so I understand. But at the same time, what does the little girl feel like? Because maybe she doesn't feel accepted at that point. Now, that has a huge, if there's any psychologists or psychotherapists out there, there's a huge ramification that has. And a car can help alleviate that. An old car. So again, 1-844-GIVE-WHEELS. And really, please consider this organization because it is tried, true, integrous, and proven to make an instant impact on families' lives. So, again,
And I think it's interesting too. When you bring up the naming the cars, that shows emotional tie, mostly with women. Men don't, usually name their cars. At least I don't, and maybe do you, Glenn?
I don't believe I do.
Okay.
oh,
all right.
come on, guys.
I couldn't even
Be
think of a
honest
name
now.
I want to call my car, But the point is, so they have this emotional tie. So a lot of times people do have that emotional tie to their car. How great would it to be known that where your car goes, that family that's now gonna, you
Right.
can say, hey, this is Bessie. Now, Bessie's been with me for 4 years. Now I'm going to pass it on to you, so please take care of Bessie. So now Bessie gets a second life and helps to alleviate all the struggles that the single mom has. And now they can lift up, Bessie will lift her up and take care of this mom, and you can watch that. We've actually had donors and recipients kind of agree to
And
stay in
become
each other's lives, and
friends,
their
sure.
friends and the kids.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's amazing how the connection comes and the love basically gets passed down, and it's really neat to see that.
I would challenge anyone out there just to follow Wheels from the Heart Country Club Auto on Facebook. They announce when they give away cars. It will change your life. It truly will.
It really does. And you said it. I think every car giveaway is announced, isn't it, Steve?
Oh yeah, and it just reminds me. I think Glenn attended this one. There was she actually was a CNN hero, and her name's Amanda. And Amanda was at the time 18. She takes care of her brother who has cerebral palsy, can basically do nothing for himself. Mom and dad were seen unfit, so she went to live with grandma. Now here's this 18-year-old taking care of a 15-year-old, no car, and then she finds herself getting pregnant and has a baby. We were introduced to this woman. She was recommended 2010 as a CNN hero for what she does with her brother. Well, as I got to know her and hear her story more, she's at a high school with a 3.9 GPA in pre-med
She was amazing.
and juggling her brother, who she would not
Yeah.
give up and refused to let him go into the system, has a new infant baby.
At 18, that's pretty
and,
phenomenal.
And it's a 3.9.
Wow. So you guys gave her a car.
Yeah. And now I just talked to her about 2 weeks ago. She's up in Vero going to college, baby's with her, everybody's strong, brothers at another place, and they're close to each other. And that car, she said, changed her whole entire life. There
So
was no more
again, we are
buses.
here with Stephen and Glenn, and two really phenomenal men that are making a difference. Glenn has been very instrumental in helping with donating cars. If there's anybody out there that wants to donate a car, please have a heart in giving to a company and an organization that is absolutely phenomenal called wheelsfromtheheart.org. 844-GIVE-WHEELS, 844-GIVE-WHEELS, wheelsfromtheheart.org. It's an organization that is truly amazing, very integral, and if anybody out there wants to make a difference, we're here for you, wheelsfromtheheart.org and Country Club Autos. Thank you so much, Sabrina Barnett, Steve, and Glenn.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Wheels from the Heart Show with your host, Sabrina Barnett. Join us next week at 5:30 on AM 1470 WNN. Want to donate and maybe be on the show? Sabrina loves meeting people. Find out how you could meet Sabrina and be part of our show. Give and share your compelling stories. Single moms need your help. Sabrina invites you to see the show on our website. See you next week. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program